The name marijuana is of Mexican-Spanish origin, coming from their word marijuana, though this is of uncertain origin. What we do know, however, is how the name became popularized in the English-speaking world. The term came with the many Mexicans that emigrated to the States in the fallout of the Mexican Revolution, where its name was anglicized from marijuana to marijuana. This name for the drug became more widespread when attempting to put restrictions and laws in place against the drug. With the Mexican immigrants in the States also came something else. Fear. As usual, when a large amount of people from one country move to another country, groups of people native to the country people are immigrating to get scared and angry. These anti-immigration fears were used in conjunction with putting laws in place against the drug. Campaigners used the name marijuana to put the drug in a negative light with those who specifically didn't like the new Mexican communities in their state. So, what was marijuana known as in the States before this? Well, it was known more commonly by its official name of cannabis. The name cannabis is thought to come from the Greek cannabis, which means hemp. Now, this throws in a third name for cannabis, hemp. Well, sort of. This video isn't really about the difference between cannabis and hemp, but explained simply, they both come from the same plant. But cannabis is the part of the plant used to get high, and hemp is the part you use for making stuff. Heads up, I really don't wish for the videos I make to be dictated by if they'll get demonetized or not, but because this video is about drugs, I get the sense that YouTube will demonetize it, which really sucks. If this annoys you as much as it annoys me, then considering to support Name Explain on Patreon would be awesome. However, if an ad did play before this video, then never mind. Anyway, aside from marijuana and cannabis, marijuana has an assortment of different names that it goes by, from more obvious to understand names to more bizarre ones. Why has this taboo plant earned itself so many names? Like I said, it's a taboo plant. Marijuana is legal in only a small selection of places in the world at the time of writing this. Despite being illegal in many places, that hasn't stopped marijuana becoming incredibly popular. Something being popular and illegal don't really go hand in hand. So for marijuana to flourish and be enjoyed by many people, it has to do so under the radar. This includes using a variety of names for the substance, so authorities won't know what you are talking about. Of course, when one name for marijuana gets uncovered, a new one has to be created. However, by this time in history, a lot of these names are quite obviously known to mean marijuana, but we still use them as they've entered our lexicon. All these different names for marijuana is reflective of the Prohibition era, when names like hooch, moonshine and giggle water were used as names for the illegal prohibited alcohol. Let's take a look at how some of the more popular names for marijuana came to be, shall we? First off, we have some of the most obvious to understand names for the drug. Cannabis is a plant, and a lot of its nicknames also relate to plants. This can be seen with names like grass, green, herb, bud, and probably its most popular name, weed. You may also think that the name for marijuana, pot, is also a plant origins, as marijuana is often grown in pots, but this isn't the case. The name pot actually comes from a shortening of the Spanish potación de guaya, meaning the drink of grief, as this original Spanish name is the name of a wine or brandy that is infused with marijuana leaves and buds. Dope is a name used for marijuana too, but also has been used for other drugs. It is believed to come from the Dutch word doop, meaning a thick sauce. How does this relate to marijuana? Well, it's believed that taking marijuana can affect and lower your IQ, with thick being a term for unintelligent people, as well as dopey being a term for someone who isn't too bright. You can see where this term of dope came from. A place highly associated with marijuana is Jamaica, due to the island being home to the Rastafari religion, where marijuana plays a large role in worship and rituals. In Jamaica, however, there is a name for marijuana that has become known throughout the world, ganja. While this name for the drug is very much synonymous with Jamaica, it didn't originate from the island. It actually came from India, with this coming from the Hindi term for marijuana, ganja. This name for the drug arrived on the island with the Indian slaves the British Empire sent there to work on the island's plantations. Marijuana has also been given a name that's actually a proper noun being a name for an individual, this being Mary Jane. This name is heavily linked with the name marijuana, as when you break this name into two, it becomes Marie and Juana, which sound like the Spanish names of Maria and Juana. How the Spanish marijuana was anglicized to marijuana, these two Spanish names of Maria and Juana were too anglicized to Mary and Jane, becoming yet another name for the drug. Unfortunately, this has nothing to do with Spider-Man. For one name for marijuana, we have to thank the Herodotus of the herb, the master of Mary Jane, the wizard of weed. I'm of course talking about Snoop Dogg. When talking to Seth Rogen, obviously, Snoop recounted a story of him at a party in 1991. Someone there said that the marijuana there had been hydroponically grown. He, however, misheard this as hydrochronically grown. From this mishearing, he shortened it to Chronic, a name that has stuck around since. All these names have been names for marijuana as a whole, but specific strains of the stuff have specific names too. Among the more popular of these are skunk and kush. Skunk named due to its strong smell, like how skunk has a strong smell, and kush named after the Hindi Kush mountains, where it is known to grow naturally. There's even a number that marijuana has become known as, that of course being 420, though according to Wikipedia, 420 is a name for cannabis culture as a whole as opposed to just marijuana. You don't say to someone, hey, want to go smoke some 420? Regardless, we have to look into this phenomenon. This term was coined by 5 students of San Rafael High School in 1971. They would go smoke marijuana at 4:20 p.m. Why 4:20 p.m? Well, by this time, all classes and extracurriculum lessons had ended, meaning they had no distractions from their smoking. This caught on and now has a day in celebration of it, and all things marijuana, that of course being April 20th, or as it reads on the calendar, 420. Thank you to all my patrons who support Name Explain on a monthly basis, especially for giving me confidence to make videos that I feel might be demonetized. Regardless if this video got demonetized or not, it's always awesome to support creators you love on Patreon. $2 a month will get your name here with all these awesome people. Thank you.